All right. So my name is Amy Weglars, and I'm a trainer and nutrition expert. I'm going to be talking about boosting your metabolism with strength training in general, right? With any fitness program that you do. And here's a little bit about me. So I specialize in helping women over 35 lose belly fat, build muscle, and increase metabolism. I have a degree in teaching, which is why I use the PowerPoint. I have a couple of certifications. So I have the NASM Strength and Conditioning Cert. I have the NASM Personal Training or not personal training, Nutrition for Athletes certification. I have a regular personal training cert. And then I also have the NASM Corrective Exercise certification. So I have quite a few certs. And so really I wanted to talk about how metabolism can really be affected by strength training. So, what is metabolism? Like, what does that actually mean? And so, we're just going to be talking about that. And the answer is the process by which your body converts food into energy, right? So, just the way that your body does it, everyone's metabolism is different, right? We talk about like, oh, your metabolism is faster than mine, and so forth. Yes, there's so many things that play into play into metabolism. We're going to talk about that in a second. So we're also going to talk about resting metabolic rate, which is so important when you're talking about metabolism, because resting metabolic rate is the calories you burn at rest or chilling on the couch. So you have your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. That's like everything that goes from like when you have to use the bathroom, how you digest food, that's thermal metabolic rate. And so there's different things that affect how our metabolism goes, but the resting metabolic is 60 to 70% of your calories that are burned during the day. So 60 to 75% are just burned based off your resting metabolic rate when you're not doing anything. So for example, maybe even right now, sitting and listening to something, how fast you're burning calories. What affects this? Age, muscle mass, activity level, and definitely diet. We're going to be going into, right, like activity level and muscle mass, because I really want to talk about how strength affects that. So you have your resting metabolic rate, which is 65% of the calories. The other 40 to 30, 25% is when you digest food, when you work out, what activity you're doing. So all those other things, sleeping, all those other things make up the other percent of the calories. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's why we talk about the resting metabolic rate is so important, and why people burn calories, just kind of like more calories walking around, sitting at the couch, like why they're burning more. And this is really the reason why. And this is so important. Your muscle is like an engine of a car. The more powerful the engine, the more fuel it burns, even when it's idling. We're going to I'm just going to stop for a quick second, make sure you can see my face to see if you have any questions about that. So, like, that's a huge statement. I'm going to go ahead and read it again. It is, your muscles are like an engine of a car. The more powerful the engine, the more fuel it burns, even idling, right? So we just talked about the rest RMR, which is your resting metabolic. That's your idling. That's when you're sitting maybe at the computer. You still have a lot of mind stuff going on, but that's like sitting and watching TV, not a lot of stuff. That is what we're talking about, burning calories while you're not doing much. So I'm going to go into, here's another good example when you're talking about that. 10 pounds of muscle burns about 50 more calories than 10 pounds of fat. So important. So I'm going to share my screen again so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So here it is, 50 more calories per day than 10 pounds of fat. So think about, if you had more muscle, you were leaner, less fat, how many more calories that you would burn per day? Muscle tissue is more metabolically active than fat, meaning it burns more calories even at rest. So once again, The more muscle you have, the more your RMR is going to burn. So an example for me, someone always said, well, how do you look so lean? You work out only 1 hour a day, right? I was weight training at one time 5 days a week, and I only weight trained for 45 minutes to an hour. I got it done though in that time. Throughout the day, I was burning way more calories because I was pretty muscular. Same thing here, except for I'm doing a little bit more endurance training, but I'm also strength training. That's why being an endurance athlete, I've probably lost a little bit more muscle than I had before due to the fact that I reduced my weight training. Not the best option. Realize that weight training I need to continue because I need to keep more muscle, which is why I'm like, why do people keep doing cardio? So I'm going to not share my screen. Why do people keep doing cardio to lose weight? That's great. But over time, you need muscle to continue to burn more calories throughout the day. That's why strength training is important. And once again, I'm going to share my screen one more time because I got some really interesting facts for you guys. Next is not going next. There it goes. Okay. So the impact of strength training, and we're going to talk about how particularly to strength train here in a second. So stay with me. But post exercise, after weight training, you are going to, it is going to burn calories, only burns calories during the work. Blah, blah. Strength training also burns calories after the workout, which is why they call it post exercise, but also increases calorie burn after exercise and during exercise. It's called the afterburn effect. So when some of you come to work out at night, you're going to keep burning more calories longer. That is also the same reason why there are some people that can't work out at night, because they're constantly burning calories and they don't sleep well. This could be a potential why. So if you're not sleeping well, know that maybe working out late at night is not the best option. You need to work out earlier in the day. The long-term benefits. Over time, strength training increases muscle mass, which can elevate your RMR and support fat loss. So it's not going to happen in 2 months. It's not going to happen in 3 months. It needs to be over time. That's why the habit of strength training really needs to be consistency, not just 2 months, not just 3 months, and not just 2 days a week. So I'm going to talk about that here as well. Oops, sorry. Okay. This is really where I want to talk about where it comes to boosting metabolism, where you're actually going to start seeing results. We are talking about 2 to 3 times a week. I would even say 3 to 4. I should really change this slide to be 3 to 4, because then you're being consistent. Your body understands that you have that post-metabolic burn and you're continuing to burn calories. Your body's going to start to get used to that. Your body's going to start to adjust. You're going to every day be burning more calories, even on the days that you don't work out, even on the days that you don't lift. Over time, day to day, your RMR is going to be consistently higher. Does that make sense? So if you are not consistent in your working out and you go 3 weeks of working out, not 3 weeks, it's not consistent enough. That's not going to help you. We got it. Very clear. Progressive overload, gradually increasing resistance. So let me talk about what I've learned and how I train people. We start with endurance training, 3 to 4 weeks of endurance, basic muscle groups, higher reps, and then we move into this strength loading phase. That would be your progressive overload, getting to maybe the same muscles, same muscle groups, but higher weight. So if I was using 15 or 10s during the 3 to 4 weeks of endurance, now I'm using 20 to 25s to get 6, 8, maybe 10 reps, and doing that for 3 to 4 weeks. And then progressively going even higher, where we're now going to hit compound movements like a squat to press, like a snatch, a deadlift to overhead. What else? A broad jump. So now adding these more interval style, compound style workouts for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And this is how I train people. And so when I train people, I think about this overload, knowing that this is science backed, this is research backed to boost your metabolism. Everybody wants to feel sexier, lose weight, get leaner, have more muscle. This is back science, everybody. It is, you don't have to do crazy exercises. And then I want to talk about prioritizing rest and recovery. And I'm not going to talk a huge amount about this because if you're here for the next webinar she is going to be talking about this. Rest. If you are not getting enough sleep, I'm telling you right now, your cortisol levels, your recovery, how you build muscle, it's not going to get there where you want to get there. So prioritizing that along with strength training, and maybe not strength training 3 to 5 times a week, maybe hitting those 2 to 3, but prioritizing, making sure that you're getting enough rest first to support this is going to be more important. Recovery, having a rest day, making sure that it's not always intense, right? That's what that progressive overload. So even during those not that first block, but that B block where I'm progressively overloading, I'm still taking rest days. It's not go, 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 hard, 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 interval, heavy, heavy, heavy. All right. So progressively doing that so you have enough recovery. Here's the recap. Strength training is going to build muscle, which is going to affect your metabolism. The afterburn effect. Every time you weight train, every time you exercise, getting that metabolic effect. And let me just say this, I didn't really talk about walking. Walking doesn't get your heart rate up enough to have this metabolic effect. It can be on a rest day, it can be in addition, okay? And then consistency, training regularly and progressively training is where it's at. Be strong and feel sexy. So if there's any questions, you're definitely welcome to ask those things. This is where you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram. I also send out weekly emails. So if you want to get on my email, you're welcome to. It's traineramy@gmail.com. Ooh, shoot. You know what? I apologize. It's traineramyw@gmail.com. So add that W. And then this is how I train people. I train people 3 different ways. Online training through an app that I have. I do one-on-one or small group training in the Raleigh area. And then I do outdoor group fitness also in the Raleigh area. So when we think about training, these are really ways to go. If you pick one thing to focus on, right? Maybe you're strength training 2 days a week. Can you start to add a third? Is that possible? Can it be 30 minutes? Yes. 100%. You can get a really good 30-minute strength workout. Sometimes I feel like it's almost like it needs to be 40 minutes with a warm up, right? But this is the goal, is everybody wants to be leaner, and that comes with a faster metabolism, but you got to be consistent in working on that. If you have any questions, you're welcome to jump on. I should have had my face there, but I'm Amy Weglars, and this is your 10 to 12 minute, get your strength in, get your metabolism going, and working on your resting metabolic rate. Bye, everybody.